Hello and welcome to Play for Keeps. I'm Jennifer Vianello.
I'm David Showalter.
And we are the co-founders of MachMachines Musical Instruments, an independent builder of guitars, basses, and ukuleles in Chicago.
After 20 years of professional lutherie, I found so many players seem to think a custom instrument is out of reach, but it's not.
At MachMachines, every build begins with a conversation. With Play for Keeps, we are keeping those conversations going to share the stories of the players and the instruments they commissioned.
Today's guest is Harvey Doo-Wop, a longtime friend and custom collaborator, former guitarist and bassist in the bands Black Math and Latour, and now the owner of two MachMachines electric guitars.
Hey, Harvey.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good.
We know each other, right?
We did.
We did.
Harvey, how long have we known each other?
That's probably like 2007 or so.
So you guys met, I think, right when Dave left Lakeland Bass Company.
Pretty soon
that's
after.
Right. We worked at an insurance company in Chicago. One of the cool things about that job was like we were DJing, playing the music for the office. We had free reign for, the most part.
Were you gigging at the time? You were in a couple bands. Were you playing in bands at the time?
I played in a band called Black Math. It was like 2000 and maybe 9 to 2012.
We went to see you in Black Math once.
Yeah.
I can't remember the venue.
We played a lot of shows at like the Empty Bottle and Ronnie's.
I do remember Ronnie's. What did you play?
I played guitar and bass in Black Math. And then I was in a band called Latour, and I played just bass in that. Did some vocals, but yeah, bass.
I do think a lot of guitar and bass players can cross over. I don't know that it's so typical to play both in bands. How did that come to be?
Black Math was a 3-piece, and it's just like certain songs required bass or had been written on bass. So I just plug into, it was a old Crate amp. I don't even think Crate makes amps anymore, but it was a one I got in high school. The like lead guitar player in Latour, he would play from that sometimes too. Just one of these Guitar Center Crate amps that had like built-in effects and everything, but sounded pretty good with like a bass and a guitar through it. So I had Eastwood bass that I would play. That it was a club bass, which I loved. I think it was all hollow. Really regret selling that. And then I would also play guitar. I played a Epiphone Casino, which I've always loved Epiphone Casinos. Just don't know what it is about them. And maybe again, it's the hollow sound.
I just had one on the bench this week for a setup. They're cool. I also had a Gibson 335, ES335 in the shop this week. They look almost the same, except for one was painted and one was natural, but to play the two was a completely different experience. The Casino was fully hollow, but the ES335 is semi-hollow. The whole center of it is solid. Totally different instruments, even though shape-wise anyways, they look the same.
Did you sell your bass?
There was a time after playing in bands where I made a career change, went back to school, was super busy. And I took a number of years off from playing. I think at the time I was like, when I jump back in, I'll get something better. But I wasn't fully valuing the memories with a particular instrument. I sold everything, so I don't have any of the guitars from that period. It's also fine in the sense of like guitars a lot of times are made to be passed down and other people play them and hopefully they don't just sit in closets. But it would be cool to have those back, but they're gone, long gone.
You left playing for a little while when you were taking some time for a career change. You had a period in there without instruments, and now you've got instruments again. So can you tell us a little bit about that part of your journey?
I think with playing guitar, I hit a place where I felt like I was putting my hands in the same positions over and over again. I wasn't feeling very creative with it, and I wanted to move on. I thought maybe I've played it so long, I've sort of hit the ceiling of where I'm able to play and put it away for, I don't know, years, like 5, 6 years. Didn't play in it at all, didn't own anything. And then had interest in just like getting back into it sort of fresh. And yeah, there's always something to learn. Like that was not a reason to put down the guitar. It's obviously sort of an endless learning process. So I'm really happy I did because I'm playing every day now, and it's like fun learning, going beyond where I sort of out with it.
Tell us about your instruments and then tell us about your music.
Well, my favorite guitar is one that Dave recently made.
All right.
That process of like designing it with you, figuring out everything from like what's the neck going to be like, to like pickups, body, sort of a unique size and everything. And then finally receiving it in the mail and opening it up was like, very cool. That instrument is not an instrument that I ever so it's great. And thanks again for putting the time into it because it plays, it looks and it feels different than anything I've played before. It's comfortable.
Well, you're welcome. And thanks. Thanks for doing it. It's what I do. It's what I love to do. I hope that every instrument that I make, the end user feels that passion
Hmm.
for wanting to create something that is unique and personally yours.
Yeah.
And because we've known each other for so long, it just makes it that much better that I was able to do that with you. It is an easy conversation, right?
And fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, should we talk about that instrument a little bit?
Tell us a little bit more, Harvey, about why you got one at that moment and what the brief was to Dave.
Yeah. Getting back into playing, uh, I was starting to tinker around with doing some of my own modifications on guitars and just got to a point where I'm like, I want a guitar that's every time you pick it up, it's your favorite guitar. Some guitars can be kind of like novelties. It looks really cool, but if you're going to record a guitar track, maybe that's not the sound you want. So I was getting interested in modifying stuff and immediately thought, I'm at a place where I'm playing a lot now. Like, I want an instrument that is custom. Where I was taking inspiration from it was just going into like guitar shops in like the Cincinnati area. I'd go there for work on the way back, have time to stop in guitar shops and see what was around. And in Toronto too, was going there for work a bit. I had never owned a Telecaster like guitar before and just saw some vintage ones, a sort of natural wood body, and just thought like, there's little pieces from these guitars I'm seeing in different shops that are awesome, but it'd be perfect to be able to bring them all together into one instrument. So that became the thought for the guitar that was the Telecaster.
Oh, it's a short scale, right? Typical Telecaster made by Fender are usually 25.5-inch scale length, but you wanted a 24-inch scale length. And
Yeah.
then we had a brief conversation about, I think you had said you had seen a Japanese made Fender
Hmm.
because in the 1980s, Fender moved some of its production to Japan. Did you play one of those 80s Japanese Fender short scales? I think they were considered student models. And is that what inspired the build for the Telecaster?
I loved short scale. I was just really like having a lot of space on the fingerboard that you can occupy. I have 25 and a half scale guitars and those are great. I just really like the shorter, more comfortable guitar. I always think a guitar is perfect for me if you can like easily play it on the couch, you know?
So it's a natural body, but you added some pieces of flair. I loved it that you wanted those pick guards.
Yeah, yeah. So the body itself is like this beautiful walnut, and I think that's one of the things I like about your guitars too. Is like you love wood. The guitars that you make have a very natural, but it's also polished. So it's walnut. It's dark, and then borrowing from an instrument you made a few years back, I really loved this idea of dark walnut with pink control knobs on there and an orange pickguard. Ever since I saw that guitar that you had made a few years ago, I was like, that's awesome. But throughout that too, I'm like, I think a lot of different pickguard colors would look very cool against this dark walnut. There's the traditional white, which is classic looking, like the Levi's inspired Americana look of dark walnut and white, but brighter yellow, I thought would look very cool against the dark wood.
Well, it's an easy way to kind of change the look of it without having to have different instruments,
Yeah,
especially on a design like that where everything's mounted to the body and the pick guard is just kind of on the surface. You
yeah.
can just swap it out very, very easily.
I've always liked the aesthetics of guitars too. Is like when I was a kid, I would like essentially drop the blueprints that like we talked about in the creation of the Telecaster. I've always loved the aesthetics of what musicians that I love, what are they playing, what have they customized about it. Going back to the process of designing it, it's just you get that opportunity to modify anything you want, whatever bridge, whatever scale, whatever color, and do it at like high quality, not throwing it together like what I'm doing with Mustangs right now. I'm altering a few and it's not professional.
Parts
Yeah.
casters, right?
Yeah.
You have another MachMachines guitar too.
Yes, I do. I have two in total, but this is the first one that you gifted to me, which was a total surprise. That moment of opening up the case and being like, "What? You made this guitar, and you're gifting it to me? That's crazy."
We had talked about when we used to work together, I always wanted to build your guitar.
What I love about that guitar is I love the neck on it. It's just an easy, natural feeling neck. It's a very, very well put together instrument, fun to play. And I love the pickups in it. So those are from I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, Kolev, right?
Hmm.
I have since bought some of his pickups just because I love the sound of it. It seems like he's running a pretty small operation, reasonably priced, great sounding stuff. So,
I wanted to be sourcing as much stuff from other local people as possible. Part of my thing is I don't love the mass manufactured instruments. I see them a lot because most of the repairs that I do are those. For the most part, they're fine. They're fine. But there's something about handmade things, I think a feeling you get from knowing that you're using something that an individual did.
now to put you on the spot, would you ever consider starting your own line of pickups?
Well, yes, actually, at this August, the Fretboard Summit, I'm going to be bringing the very first electric baritone ukulele, and it is really hard to find parts for a 4-string small scale instrument. Pickups being one of the hardest things.
So at the Fretboard Summit, the bass and the baritone ukulele that Dave's making are modeled off of that style. So it's going to be another blonde
Yeah,
maple hollow body, but hollow body bass and a hollow body electric baritone ukulele, which is cool.
yeah.
When did you start playing?
I started playing guitar in 1993. I think a lot of people probably picked up a guitar after being exposed to a first band that just got them interested in music, and it was Nirvana, but it was also the Beatles at the time too. I had a Harmony acoustic that I was playing left-handed. I don't know why. I think it may have been because Kurt Cobain played left-handed. Obviously, I had no lessons and no instruction, so I wasn't even holding it right.
Was it a left-handed guitar?
No, no, no. So it was
Are
upside
you
down.
left-handed?
No, no. For whatever reason, picked it up and played it that way. Then I got really interested in it and wanted lessons, but at that point, my mom was like, not guitar. You have to do piano first. And I didn't want to play piano. And I had lessons through I just remember it being very dusty all the time, an old dusty music store. And there was an old dusty instructor that was teaching me, and it was miserable. I would rather go to school anytime than take lessons. So it was a few months into piano lessons, and I was at home and doing something with the dog, and I closed the back door on my fingers accidentally. But it like really messed up my fingers. And I remember one of the first things I thought was, yes, I don't have to take piano lessons for a while. So I got out of that, never went back, and then found a guitar teacher in the town that I lived in who I really credit to being able to collaborate with other people because we learned some of the basics and like reading tablature, but he had a room in a functional factory, but it was just this cinder block room where his band would play. So they had Marshall stacks and keyboards, drums, everything. Most of our lessons were picking like a root chord or something and then soloing over it. And it was always fun. It wasn't ever stiff or anything. And it allowed me to learn how to listen to somebody else in a room, know what notes they're playing, and know how to sort of play off that. And through bands and writing together was really just really cool, really beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, playing improv is very different from
Yeah.
learning classical piano. I grew up playing classical piano, and so I'm disappointed in your experience, although I can relate because I had a lot of teachers. I just wanted to play Debbie Gibson, but they kept making me play Bach. I think it is a disservice on piano education generally. With our kids, I did tell them that if they want to play an instrument, they can play whatever they want, but they have to do 2 years of piano first. And the reason for it is because not because you need to learn how to play fugues, but because there's no other instrument that's as versatile for training on melody and harmony and rhythm and learning how to read two clefs. The foundation that you get in learning
Yeah.
the basics of music is so important there.
I think if you're someone that pursues music and like writing music and everything, you'll likely come back as an adult and wish you knew piano.
I know.
I've tried to pick it up several times and you can do it. It's not like some sort of unattainable thing, but it does require learning an instrument again. I wish I would have picked up more of it. And I have keyboards and synths, and it'd be nice to know a little bit more about what I'm actually doing.
I wish I knew how to play guitar and bass. There you go. What do you do in the day to day?
For money, I'm a copywriter in advertising. Work on like scripts for commercials. Been doing that for 10 years now. I'm working for an agency in Cincinnati right now, and love that agency. The people are awesome. That takes up a lot of time, but it's a creative outlet as well. And I think most of my days are kind of spent advertising and then taking care of my dog and playing guitar. That about covers 99% of my life, I think.
You have a couple of Instagram accounts.
Yes, I would recommend one of them. It's called Portapotty. I think it's going on 12 years. And it's an account that's dedicated to capturing all of the fun, mostly punny names of porta potties across the world. In short, when I was playing in bands and we were doing some touring, I noticed that porta potties were different in different regions of the country, and they were hilarious. Like Detroit has AC Doocy, which is just amazing. But everywhere you go, there's a different local company with like a punny name. And I happened to be capturing photos of it over this time where that's kind of becoming a thing of the past, where bigger companies like Chicago's, what is it, Service Sanitation, which, props to those guys, they're great. And if they want to send me any swag, because they have before, I'll take it. I have like a hard hat from them and a vest.
Because of Porta Bunny,
Yeah.
you are the Instagram influencer for porta potty companies.
Anybody listening to this, I could use your help. You got to get the word out because apparently I'm not good at advertising myself.
That's why I asked you.
Please follow.
Yes. Like and
Please.
subscribe. Porta Punny.
Porta Penny.
I have so many questions on this. Going back to you saying that the regional
Yes,
differences are going away, is there consolidation
there
happening
is. Yeah.
in the porta potty industry? So there's like
Yeah.
big tech and big pharma. Is what is this big?
Big potty.
Big potty. There's a market constipation that's going on right now where there are not enough little guys getting into the game. They're becoming number two to these big number one, big potty. You're seeing less and less of these mom and pop potties. And so let's capture them, let's celebrate them, and please use them too, you know.
You're only doing temporary ones, right? You're not capturing, like,
No,
in the
no, no.
national parks, the just hole in the ground.
No, no. And I never take photos inside because,
Thank you for
most
that.
of the beauty is on the outside. So um, I think one of the best things about the whole project is if you jump on and you look at 10 different porta potties, there will be 10 favorite porta potty names.
So we started a playlist to go along with this podcast. Just whatever music we end up talking about, I'm throwing a couple of tracks onto this playlist if anybody wants to listen along with anything that's been referenced. I'll try to find some Black Math and Latour stuff.
For months now, I've been obsessed with listening to the Cramps. I love everything about that band. Like, good rock should have elements of real danger. There's weird sexual stuff going on. There's camp. There's just this Americana sort of 50s vibe going on.
Love it.
Yeah, haven't
Love
listened
the
to the Cramps in a
Cramps.
while. Thank you for doing this with us.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Not only are you guys great friends, but you're making something very cool.
Thanks.
I said to Dave in a text message after I got the Telecaster, there's no reason for me to ever buy a guitar that's not from you. It's a great instrument.
I'm so happy you're pleased.
We'll see you soon. Thanks, Harvey.
Alone, but there's